I am ready. Go ahead.
Please state your name, age, location, any past locations, and occupation to the camera.
Wow, that sounded bad. My name is Jord-on Alexander McKechnie. You might know me as Onyx. Currently, I'm 24 years old, and in a couple of months, I'm going to be 25, which is a quarter through my lifespan, and god damn it, is that scary. I've lived in New York, Florida, Colorado, and Nevada. As far as my occupation goes, I am a movement artist, and I've been trying to live my life off of that as much as possible, in every way possible, for as long as possible.
What are your passions, and do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I definitely have passions and hobbies. I think it's healthy for every individual to have passions and hobbies. And I think if you're watching this channel, you know my passions. Biggest one being movement, and that branches off into a bunch of different realms. As far as my other passions go, I would say just cinema, art, creation. It doesn't really matter the path that I'm taking, as long as I am continuously pursuing creativity. It just feels good for me. I know that's kind of a lame answer. I'm sure most people are going to say that, but at the end of the day, it is true to me.
When and where did they start?
I was kicking that fetus.
So, let me just see if I got this right.
I was kicking that fetus. I was moving the second I was born. Really, all I needed was somebody to give me an outlet that was reasonable. I mean, they started a long time ago. I was put in martial arts when I was like 3 years old. I had a trampoline when I was like 3 years old. And honestly, those two things made me who I am today, undoubtedly. I think without those two things, I would be somebody entirely different. And I'm not too keen on knowing who that person is. I actually haven't been able to pursue movement or athleticism at all in a way that I have wanted to in a couple years. And before that, I wasn't really pursuing it as much as I should have been. I was taking advantage. I was really just training. I wasn't doing anything else. I wasn't eating properly, stretching, physical therapy, really anything. I wasn't an athlete. I was just a Spartan warrior when it came to tricking. But yeah, it started with the trampoline, martial arts, and then a couple of my friends, they also did flips. One of my best friends, Ader, which was from preschool, he was learning flips around the same time as me when we were really young, and that just inspired me a lot. He was doing more flips than me on ground until I saw him do them, and then I was a lot better, you know? And then another friend that I had in preschool, Thomas Harding, I can't remember if he moved or what, but I ended up seeing him again in middle school when I had already learned flips, and I think he learned a back handspring at that point, and totally coincidentally, I was doing flips in lunch, and he was also doing back handsprings in lunch. We met each other again, and from there, we really started training parkour and tricking. And him, Chris Rabasco, which was his neighbor, and Aiden Tobia, which was a friend of theirs, we all just started training as much as we could, and we progressed in our own ways. And I just never let go of it. I mean, when I got to Florida, I wasn't really training with too many people. I was training with Ant.
Fucking, this is to Jacob Pinta.
Jit, Storm, really whoever I could find around me, and then Andrew Nordland.
Fuck yeah!
Sometimes I would go down south in Florida and train with some people. In Florida, it was mostly just me. But as far as where it started, yeah, New York, with mostly that group of individuals other than just my sheer surroundings inspiring me to move.
What good and bad habits are relevant in your life right now?
One of the good ones is being I'm creating content as you're watching it. I've actually been taking ice baths here in Colorado. Not even an ice bath. I've been jumping in cold ass water every morning. So I'm just trying to, re-spark a good mentality within myself by eliminating bad habits and replacing them with good ones. And I do have a lot of bad habits that I need to get rid of. One of which that is extremely relevant to my life is smoking pot.
We smoking symbiotes.
I think when you become dependent on anything, it can be negative. I think mediation of everything is the most healthy way to do anything.
When and where did they start?
The good habits started with just martial arts, honestly. I mean, as far as the jump rope goes, that definitely started with martial arts. I've also been doing hand combinations, like while I'm jumping rope, just in between, relax different parts of the body, express different parts of the body. Some of my good habits, honestly, have just come from people that are good inspirations around me, just doing the right thing and making me want to do the right thing. As far as my bad habits go, I mean, they go back. Florida was really when my bad habits started, and it was also due to my surroundings. I mentioned Jit and Ant before, and they definitely weren't the best inspirations on me. I mean, we did a lot of bad things.
Look at Mike!
How would you compare the communities you've been a part of?
The communities in New York, they were goofy, childish. They were everything I wanted, and I miss them dearly when I moved to Florida. I think that hurt that I had when I left them built up this weird energy, and I kind of just held that energy towards the world. It just didn't blend well with me, and I attracted people that were like me. And I think that's kind of what happens. And I think that's why Jit and Ant were such a negative inspiration to me, why I allowed it so much.
I'm so serious. 69.
I have good friends in Florida. It's just not as much of a community as New York was or Colorado was. As far as Colorado's community goes, definitely had some bitter tastes of it and some sweet, sweet victory in it. Overall, I would say Colorado is a great place to inspire you to grow as far as the social dynamic goes as an athlete. I think there's a lot of different sports here. I would even say Las Vegas is not much of a community for me either. That's mostly because it was a cast to a job and I didn't really get to select my community. I know Nevada, Las Vegas, whatever, has a lot of inspirational people, quite obviously, but I know what's best for me, and I know that that state per se is not best for me. We'll see what happens though.
What makes you passionate, driven?
Intercourse. Knowing that I could do something with other people keeps me passionate. Knowing I could do something with myself keeps me passionate. Anytime I have an idea, I want to do it, you know, and whether it's me doing it or asking somebody to do something or me asking somebody to do something with me, it keeps me driven. It makes me remember that life is worth exploring. Other people's interactions do keep me motivated. They keep me driven. You know, I know everything at the end of the day. My entire life story is really just for me. And I know that I should be focusing on that more than I should be focusing on how other people perceive me. But when I post something and people respond and they let me know that they felt something, it doesn't matter to me what they fucking felt. Because when I watch content, I either feel empty inside because I feel empty inside, or I watch something and I feel like, wow, I want to do this, or I want this person to know that this made me feel something. I mean, recently I've been posting triple cork attempts and I've had so many interactions, so many likes on those stories, more likes than I have ever gotten on any story ever. People just saying, you got this. I'm happy to see you coming back, blah, blah, blah. As long as you're driven, I'm happy for you, you know, like as long as you want to be doing this, I am happy that you are doing something that makes you happy. And that just makes me feel like I'm not in this alone. It pushes me, undoubtedly. And yeah, it keeps me down when I don't have those interactions, but that's a perspective that I need to change within myself.
What are your goals for the future of your passions, hobbies, or personal life?
Shit. I was asked this on a podcast with Travis Wong. Honestly, that podcast, I felt so uncomfortable because I didn't feel like my best self at the time and I didn't know how to deal with that. It's cringy for me to watch that video, unfortunately. I would love to do another podcast with him. As far as my passions go, I just want to be the best version of myself. Any movement that I have ever done, I want to be the best version of myself in that aspect. Even new things that I start doing, whether it be painting or fucking rocks. I want to be the best rock fucker in the world.
Nice.
I really just want to be proud of myself. That's the biggest thing. When I'm old, I just want to look back and be like, wow, I'm so happy that I did what I did.
What's something you wish you heard earlier?
I think my dad said everything to me as a kid that I needed to hear. I just didn't want to hear it. I think the thing that would have impacted me the most as a kid was just hearing that perspectives are the controller of your world.